In the last video I played through the whole song. Now I'm going to show you the parts individually. It shouldn't take very long, there aren't actually that many riffs. The difficulty with this song is more about playing it as a band rather than the individual parts. There's a couple of potentially tricky moments, but any intermediate upwards guitarists are not going to have any problems with the parts. However, when you play it as a band, it's one of those songs that is not particularly even in tempo, and there's a lot of parts that will evolve as you play it together, and it's more about how you present it as a unit than the individual parts you're playing. This will be clearer as I get into it, but first riff, we're tuned to D standard, by the way, so everything down a whole step from standard tuning. The first riff is open string, 7th fret on the next string, and then 9 and 10, that tritone. So, okay, everything's picked, tremolo picking. Then, power chord on the 3rd fret, and then just go up with your 2nd finger to the 4th fret, so you're again hitting that tritone. And then, 1, 3, 3, open. Okay. Then, again, and 7, 7 on the middle 2 strings, and then 9th fret with the 3rd finger on the D string, okay, to make that minor 3rd. Then move that shape down 3 frets, okay. Then the first part repeats again, and then this bit's a little bit tricky, that part again, and then, okay, so it's on the B string, 6, then 7, 7 on the lower strings, 5 on the B string, 4, 4, 6. And then hit that 5 on the B string again. It's basically just minor triads, but moved around with a little bit of voicing going on to give the chords a bit of motion. And then that's basically the whole riff, but I'll play it now with a click so that you can hear the parts all put together. Okay, and then the second riff is kind of the main riff of the song. Okay, it's all minor chords. It's in 5/4, but you shouldn't have to worry too much about counting it. You should really just be able to feel the riff. It's a 5/4 groove. A lot of the songs on Death Crush have that. You know, that 5 thing, but you shouldn't really be counting it. You shouldn't need to. You should just feel it. So all minor chords moving around. Starts on 6th fret on the A string, down a fret, and then up 3 frets, and then up a fret. Okay, so basically 6, 5, 8, 9. Then down to 2nd. Okay, that's basically it. What I said earlier about how this song is tricky to play as a unit rather than the individual parts, this is one of those riffs where if we were to play it live, which hopefully we will at some point, it will evolve so that when the riff starts, it's played with that kind of pick strokes, and then the moment the drums come in, everything from that point on is played like that. But were we to do it live, that picking would adapt according to what Hellhammer was doing with the drums, and we would naturally start to evolve points where rather than picking through the whole thing, we might go like, and it all stabbed together. That's something that should happen naturally, and you'll get a feel for it. And this is the thing, all of the songs naturally evolve the more you play them live. People who are familiar with the recorded versions of all the Mayhem stuff can hear when we play them live, there's little things we've picked up, started doing together, and just became part of the song. And this is one of those songs that would very much have that, because of just the nature of the way the song is, that it will evolve and change. And so the reason I'm saying this is don't fixate too much on playing that all the way through. Find your own little accents and change the picking up and make it your own a little bit, because it's that kind of song. It's not supposed to be played precisely. It's got a little bit of a punky edge or attitude to it. So yeah, don't try not to be too clinical about it, which is ironically what I'm doing with this explanation. Okay, so that's the riff. I'll play it now with a click so you can hear it. Okay, and then there's a sort of B section to that riff, which is just A minor, well, G minor because we're in D, but 5th fret. Down to 2nd, so 5, 6, 8, 5, 2. And on the 2nd time it goes down to 1st fret. Okay, and then we have the kind of, I suppose you could call it a chorus riff, but it isn't really. Open string, 10, 7, 8. And then down to the bottom string, 6, 8, 8. But it's just a power chord with the octave. And then that 8 goes up a semitone, up to 9th fret. And then open, minor chord on the 7th, and then just power chords on 3 and 2 on the bottom string. Now you can play that, or you can play it whatever feels right. It's another riff that would potentially change according to how we played it as a band. So then that again. Now 8th fret on the D string, 10th fret on the G, and a 7th on the B string. Now you can play that clean, or you can play it, let them ring together. I think on the album I do it quite clean, but whatever you prefer. Okay. And then that again, and then minor chords. With the open E string at the bottom. That part is slightly different the second time around, and I'll demonstrate both of them, but just be careful with that because it's a little bit tricky just to get the exact chord pattern into your head. So anyway, here it is with a click. Then we go back to this part again, and then there's a little extra bit with these octaves. It's just a slight variation in the riff, just to add a little bit of interest as it repeats. So we're just doing these 10th fret, 8th fret, and 11th fret on the D and B string. When you voice this, you should be muting the string in the middle. Okay? Because then you can hit it a bit harder without worrying about extra strings you don't want to hear. In fact, I'm muting the entire guitar apart from those two strings with my left hand. That's something that takes a bit of practice to do. Okay, it's basically the same as this. Yeah, I'll play it with the click so you can hear it, but it's pretty much the same riff, just moved to a different position. All right, and then we have this tail of that riff, which is a little bit different from the previous time. It goes. Okay, now I'm not going to break that down because it's just minor chords. You need to listen to it. I'll play it with the click, but you just need to listen to it and memorize the pattern because it's just 3 chords exactly the same, moving in semitones. So just listen to it with the click and try to copy what I'm doing. Okay, and then we get into this middle riff, which is the that part. You need to be aware that it's like a bar of 7, and then it moves to 4/4. So that's in 7. And once you get to that note, now we're in 4/4, and it just keeps, that bar of 7 just keeps reoccurring. Again, better not try to count it, better just feel it, but I thought it was worth mentioning in case it causes you any confusion. So 6 on the B string, 9, 7, and then we use that first finger, move it down to the A string on the 7th fret, and you're going to be covering both those notes with the first finger. Then move that shape up 3 frets. Pick that 4 times. So we play it like that first time, and then as soon as the drums join in, we pick it fast, and then it stays like that for the rest of the section. And then yeah, it just repeats 4 times, I think. Let's do that with a click. Okay, and then we have this little B section. This is just minor chords. 6th fret, 5th fret, 2nd. But as you play them, let the chord kind of open out. So you start on the low strings. Yeah, so that the chord kind of expands as you play it. You get more of the high strings. That's pretty straightforward. And then there's a little tail, which is just minor triads. 11, 10, 11, starting on the D string. Moves down a fret, then moves down 3 frets. Okay, let's do the whole thing with a click. And that's it, basically. The song then comes back round to the main riff, which we've already covered, slightly slower, and then to this riff. Exactly the same, only difference is on the end, is those stabs on the 1st fret. So that's it. Good luck with it. If you have any questions, in the comments section, and if any of you actually do get together and cover this as a band, I'd be very interested to hear that as well. See you later.